Gonna make some spaghetti squash. And why do they call it spaghetti squash? Because when you get done cooking it and using a fork to pull out all the meat, it better look like spaghetti and not mashed potatoes. If it looks like mashed potatoes, you overcooked it. So first we're going to very simply oil the pan, going into a 400-degree oven. You have to cut this in half, scoop out the seeds. But before you do that, you see this piece here? That's the stem part. You can't cut through that. So it's best to just cut it off, and then you can cut it in half. And scooping out takes a little while. Cutting it takes a little bit of strength. And we'll just take this. I'm not seasoning this. Why? Because if you season it now, seasoning is not going to penetrate all of this meat. And I call it meat. Now we're set up to put it in the oven. 400. I'm setting the oven timer for 20 minutes. I don't think it's going to be ready, but this recipe is only for this size spaghetti squash. Different sizes take different amounts of time to cook because they're bigger, they're smaller, and you really don't want to screw it up. So this is only for this. And to go along with the spaghetti squash, fine julienne of onions, fresh minced garlic, and sage. Why did I choose sage? Well, people put sage, rosemary, thyme into their stuffing, so there should be sage somewhere on the menu. And now we have it here. We're going to saute the onions and the garlic in this with butter, and after a few minutes then I'll add the sage, because I'm going to try and keep the color of the sage if possible. And this won't be browned. If you like it brown, you can make it brown. But I'm just cooking it to make the onions soft. Now it's been 20 minutes, so let's just check this. Turn it over, and look at that. It's hard like a rock. So therefore, you got to be careful, like I said. We're going to go in for another 15 minutes. And meanwhile, over here, there's the onions. I covered it. That way they kind of steam, stay nice and soft. And now I'm going to add the sage. Now that's on a, you can't even see, it's on a super low, the lowest flame possible. Let that sweat up in there and pull all of that flavor out of the sage. That'll take a few minutes. This took 32 minutes. And what I'm going to do now, you have to let it cool before you do anything else. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator. And as you, let me just move this and show you. You know, some people pierce the skin before they cook it. I don't do that. I don't want the steam to come out. I want this to cook. So why pierce it? Maybe there's a logical explanation. See? Still a little firm. And this will take how much time to cool down? A couple hours on the table, maybe an hour in the refrigerator. So now we're going to see if we did this correctly. It's chilled. You take a fork and you go like so. And if you cooked it too much, what you're going to get is mashed potatoes. Now what do we do with this? So after taking out all of the spaghetti squash, then you will add to this what you would like. Well, I'm putting onions and garlic and flavoring it with sage. You can add just about anything you want to this. You can add, well, like for color, diced red pepper, peas, whatever you like, or just leave it plain with nothing, no herbs at all, just salt and pepper. And then, after getting all of this out, like so, then we're going to mix this up. We're going to season it. You can put melted butter in it before we heat it up. You can put olive oil. You can put both, whatever you like. And this, now I see the amount that we're going to have, which is important. So this little spaghetti squash looks like it's enough. And there's the, now you're going to do this with your hands, because if you do it with a fork or something, you're going to break up the spaghetti part of it. Anyway, into this you put pepper. So if you like more, put more. And then you put salt. And we already have in there a little bit of butter from the sauteed items. And then we're going to put olive oil or melt another 3 tablespoons of butter and add that. Now, you should put gloves on if you're feeding other people. If you're not, like me, I'm not feeding other people on this. So I just turned the water on in the sink so I can wash my hands immediately. And then you just take this and along with the calf's liver that I'm making tonight for dinner, we're going to have this. Now taste it. Nice. It does need a little more salt. But I'm not going to add the salt because I don't want the salt. So my wife will put the salt on when she's eating. And we're going to put this into something so we can share it. And this will give me, I'll be able to tell you how many people this will serve. Let's see now. Put this in half. That's too much. A third. That's good for 3 people for the vegetable on their plate. Now just take this, put it in the microwave, warm it up, and serve it when you're ready. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, I hope you enjoy it.